He's looked like he's bulked up quite nicely into the welterweight frame. How's that been?
Unbelievable. I when I came into camp, you know, because I've been here in Dubai all this time, and I saw him for the first time over a month ago, and I'm looking at him like, what the heck? I go, wow, he was solid, you know. So I was very impressed with that. Number one, I said, how do you feel? He goes, great, coach.
Se ve cruzita bien, se ve cruzita bien. Стоять сверху, extrema, да. Islam на ковер.
The former lightweight king, with 27 wins and only 1 loss, has decided to leave his old division behind and move up to welterweight. His first challenge? None other than Australia's rising star, Jack Della Maddalena, at UFC 322 inside Madison Square Garden on November 15th. It's the kind of fight that feels larger than life, a champion chasing greatness against a hungry title holder ready to defend his throne. When Islam made the switch, the adjustment wasn't smooth at first. Filling out his new frame after years of brutal weight cuts was a grind. But according to Mendes, those struggles are ancient history. After watching Islam train daily in Dubai, Mendes knew something special was happening. The speed was still there, the timing razor sharp, but now every strike carried thunder. Mendes said it best. He's not just adapting, he's evolving. In his eyes, Makhachev hasn't just moved up in weight, he's entered a new era of dominance. And while Islam could make 155 again if he really wanted to, Mendes doesn't see the point. Why cut weight when you're faster, stronger, and more dangerous than ever at 170? Across the world, Jack Della Maddalena is building his own empire of preparation. At just 27, he knows he's facing one of the most calculated fighters in UFC history, so he's responding with a plan of his own, a dream team of minds built to solve the Dagestani puzzle. Leading the charge is none other than Alexander Volkanovski, the man who shared 10 brutal rounds with Makhachev. Volk's surprise arrival at Scrappy MMA in Perth lifted the room instantly. He knows Islam's habits, his transitions, his pressure, his insight could be Jack's secret weapon. But Volkanovski isn't the only one. Grappling genius Craig Jones, arguably the best submission artist on the planet, has joined the camp full-time. Jones helped design Volk's game plans against Makhachev, and now brings that same knowledge straight to Jack's corner. Together, they're fine-tuning every inch of his defense, building answers to Islam's suffocating control.
Watched him train, I watched what he was doing, and I was so impressed. And then he did his first sparring, and I was blown away. I was blown away how good he got, how well he adjusted to the weight. I was blown away. So I'm very confident in him, and regardless what anybody says, he's still #1 pound for pound in my eyes. So that's my guy, pound for pound #1, Islam Makhachev. And the new version of him is coming, you know, November 15th at Madison Square Garden, you know, and he will be the new welterweight UFC champion.
The people that are doubting him, Muhammad, how dangerous is he for Islam, especially everything that you know about Islam and the time you've spent with him?
I mean, you can't doubt him. Look, he's a welterweight, and you've got Bilal, who's a grappler, wrestler. Look how he handled that. And then you know he's a beast of the beat. And then he's early, and I guarantee you from that fight, his confidence in grappling and takedown defense has just gone to a whole other level. So he's going to be an absolute nightmare. So he's a weapon. So I mean, I know that Islam's not taking this one a lot.
The MMA world can't stop debating this matchup. Some see it as Makhachev's coronation as a 2-division great. Others think Maddalena's natural size and striking power might finally expose Islam's limits. Sean O'Malley calls it a fight for legacy. He believes the winner could walk straight into superstardom, maybe even a super fight with Ilia Topuria. O'Malley also warns that Maddalena's unpredictability could turn this into a chaotic masterpiece from the opening bell. Meanwhile, Merab Dvalishvili studies it like a technician. He still favors Islam's chain wrestling and control, but even he admits Maddalena won't be easy to pin down. Watching Jack's war with Bilal Mohammed, Merab noticed how Bilal, a relentless grinder himself, struggled to hold him. That toughness could be the key against someone like Islam.
How do you think the fight against Islam goes? I think it's a super difficult fight. Obviously, he's faced Volk twice, so the first one very competitive, and now it's facing a guy that's best scrambling ability, period, in all of MMA. I think that's what Bilal struggled with. So I think the size difference is going to be quite a lot than people think. And we've seen how Volk did on the ground, how much Islam struggled with him. Jack beats Islam, puts Islam in a typical position. Does he now go back down to fight Ilia after he loses?
Islam, he's moving up to 170. Do you think that he gets the job done and wins that title, or do you think JDM retains?
It's gonna be hard for him, but it's possible to Islam Makhachev wins the second bout. JDM is great fighter, great striker, but Islam is tricky. He has a good wrestling. He's southpaw. He don't get hits, but he takes people down. He walks people down. And also, we all see the JDM Bilal Muhammad's fight, and then I'm sure Islam will take lots of lessons from this fight, and Islam will make some adjustments. It's possible. It's gonna be hard, but Islam can win the second bout.
Philip Rowe isn't convinced Makhachev can carry that dominance to a heavier division. He believes the size gap will show once the fight starts. In his eyes, Jack's mix of speed and punching precision could wear Islam down before the championship rounds even arrive. Carlos Preitz, fighting on the same card, sees something else: Jack's composure. He calls it his deadliest weapon. Under pressure, Jack doesn't panic. He thinks, he waits, he counters. That patience, Preitz says, could force Islam into deep, unfamiliar waters where few have ever dragged him.
Islam relinquish his belt and go up to 170. Got JDM taking on Islam Makhachev. I still think Islam's skill for skill is just so high level. For him to go out there and do what he did against Bilal was very impressive, made that Islam fight more interesting. If JDM can shut him down and throw those hands, but Islam's boxing is underrated. That dude, I agree, slick. His kickboxing, his timing, like he's a high level black belt in every aspect of MMA.
We'll give him.
Jack versus Islam, I think, is huge. Not as big as Ilia versus Islam, but who knows? Maybe they both win and Islam comes back down to 55 and the fight's even bigger.
Philip Rowe, what's cracking, man?
Chilling.
Hey, now listen, you're welterweight. You've been in the game a long time. Islam moving up to 170. Is he big enough for 170?
My personal opinion, I don't think he is, but he's a champ. We'll see when he's there. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight. He's fighting the champ. That's the best 170 in the world right now, right? So we'll see.
So you don't think he has the size, but how do you think he does in a fight versus JDM?
I personally think JDM beats him. I think JDM will be able to get up if he does take him down. I don't think he'll be able to take JDM shots. I think personally he'll stop Islam.
Yoel Romero has been watching too, and he's just as impressed. He sees a fighter who's matured before our eyes, a man who knows how to blend intensity with calm. That's what makes Jack dangerous. He can brawl when needed, but never loses his center. Ian Gary keeps it simple. Jack is a true welterweight. Islam isn't. That difference, he says, will matter the moment they touch gloves. If Jack lands clean early, Gary predicts a knockout that shakes the division to its core.
The main event is also in your weight class, JDM and Islam. Who do you think is going to win that?
I think the favorite is Islam, but Jackie show like he grew up a lot as a fighter. Since his top fight now, he was a long time without fight, almost 2 years, and he got really good skills to fight Bilal Muhammad, defense takedowns. So I think he's gonna win.
You think Jack is going to win?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think he wins a decision, or do you think he stops him?
I think decision is really hard fight.
You think Islam stays at 170 or he goes back?
If he loses, I don't know. It depends how he feels during the fight. How close is gonna be the fight, you know?
Dan Hardy looks at it as a fascinating experiment. Every division has its own rhythm, its own power, its own tempo, and Hardy wonders whether Islam can sync with that. If he can, the Dagestani's technical mastery might shine once again. But if he can't, Maddalena's power could rewrite the story. Max Holloway frames it as a battle of mindsets. Jack thrives on adaptation, reading his opponent mid-fight, while Islam embodies precision and structure, disciplined, controlled, methodical. To Holloway, that contrast makes UFC 322 one of the most mentally intriguing fights of the year.
Yoel Romero gives his honest take. Yoel Romero just shared his thoughts on a potential showdown between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, and it's a must-hear. Romero believes that Maddalena, while being a big 170-pounder, might face a tough challenge against Makhachev's superior grappling. Do you think Jack's striking can beat Makhachev's grappling?
Who do you think wins, Jack or Islam?
It's such a tough one to talk about. Islam is phenomenal. He's good everywhere. Size matters. When you're talking about an extra 15 pounds, and you look at the size of Volkanovski versus Jack Della Maddalena, there's a big size discrepancy, and Hull gave you a good fight. And then Dustin Poirier, it wasn't absolutely completely dominant by his chance. It was a tough fight. Size is going to play a huge part, even on the ground. I feel like Jack could get done with just contained boxing and good take on defense. But I can absolutely see Islam coming in and doing what Islam does. He got out there and just looks like the phenomenal mixed martial artist he is.
Robert Whittaker is all in on his fellow Aussie. Having fought in both middleweight and welterweight, he knows exactly how small weight shifts can change everything. He sees Jack as chaos controlled, a storm that knows where it's headed. Whittaker doesn't expect him to completely shut down Islam's wrestling, but if Jack can force respect on the feet, an upset could be closer than people think.
I think Della Maddalena's got a bright future. I don't know whether he's going to hold the belt or, he's going to lose it to another one of the top contenders and then pick it back up again. I don't think he's going to lose it to Makhachev, though. I think Makhachev holds the lightweight belt against anybody in the world, on any day, including Ilia Topuria. I don't think if he moved up, he would have much success against Makhachev.
Gilbert Burns offers perhaps the most balanced take. He believes Makhachev might actually benefit from the move. No more brutal cuts, no more depleted energy. Islam could be fresher, faster, and sharper than ever, but he also respects what Maddalena brings. With Craig Jones sharpening his grappling defense, this might not be a battle of brute force. It could become a tactical war between two chess masters fighting for inches.
Your thoughts on Islam moving up to welterweight?
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, He's the number 2 pound for pound in the world. You gotta respect that, but don't sleep on Jack. I think it's gonna be a tough fight. Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and when that match happens, I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's gonna be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people calling out Jack.
Finally, Beneil Dariush weighs in with caution. He respects Islam's discipline, but he knows how much raw size can tilt a fight between equals. He thinks Jack's power, pressure, and pace could push Islam into uncomfortable territory. For Dariush, this is the ultimate test, not of skill, but of survival. Can Makhachev's structure hold against a man built to break rhythm?
I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedowns, to fight the ground, the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands. Yeah. I think Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight. Yeah. I think, and this is people sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Islam is going to be as gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back.
Islam is working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. I proving himself. He's number 1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're going to have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think. And JDM has a clear shot on beating.
Islam versus JDM. Do you still favor Islam in that matchup?
I'm going to lean now towards JDM. I feel like the size will make a difference. Cardio-wise, JDM has great cardio. Maybe I'm wrong, but so I just feel like JDM.
As UFC 322 approaches, anticipation is hitting fever pitch. On one side stands Islam Makhachev, the calculated destroyer chasing greatness in a second division. On the other, Jack Della Maddalena, the fearless Aussie ready to shock the world. One seeks legacy, the other destiny. And when that cage door closes inside Madison Square Garden, the fight won't just decide a champion, it might redefine the balance of power across two entire divisions.